Good communication is an often overlooked issue in the business world. That is, until one of your employees insults a key executive, a key supplier, or one of your customers. Then you have a real nightmare on your hands. Looking for some quick tips on improving your team's communication skills, and maybe even your own? Stick around while we get some timely advice from a real pro. Welcome to Accounts Payable Soundbites, the program where we share tips and explain simple and complex accounts payable issues in short, concise soundbites. This is part of a sporadic series featuring a soundbite from some of the very best minds in industry. Okay, Stephen, I know you have advice focused on the AP team, but I know that it will also work for anyone in accounting, finance, P2P, etc. So what's your first tip? I know you have two.
So my top tips for accounts payable and finance is really to stay visible within the business. So that can be things like using the company intranet sites and any monthly emails that go out to the business, so that improves your visibility. Adding things like your organisation charts for your AP team or your finance team onto the intranet or internal websites so that people can find you. Also things like your month-end timetables to highlight key dates when you're looking to make, say, the weekly payment run, or there's a year-end coming up which might have a payment cut-off. And also things like knowing where your business users and people in your finance community can find things like policies and procedures. So that could be for your requisitioners, preferred vendor lists, quick reference guides for the systems on how to complete various tasks. So it could be like setting up a vendor or how you create a purchase order in the system, or other things like they need to know around procurement, when to involve those teams, your no PO, no payment policy if you have one, and things like your personal expense policy.
All right, that's quite interesting. I never would have thought to that. Now, before we get to our second tip, which I have to tell you, Stephen, was a real eye-opener for me. For those who don't know Stephen King, he is a procure-to-pay lead working with the finance transformation. You can learn more about him using the link below in the show notes. Now, Stephen, for your second tip.
So the second tip I have is really to have a clear escalation route within your team. So that could be if a supplier's been put on stop or a vendor's been put on stop, have a escalation route to the senior managers in the AP team so that they can pick up on that and deal with it quickly. And that's really to stop it becoming a bigger issue in the business or involving more senior people that might have better things to do with their time than dealing with some of this stuff. But also to improve the communications within the team and the business, just so that they know who to turn to when they have an issue like this, or they know there is an escalation route in place.
So that's pretty simple, but pretty straightforward, I think, and something everybody can do. If you like this episode, you might like our episode on new best practices. It's episode number 67, and a link will appear to it on the left shortly. And of course, we always appreciate those subscribes, thumbs up, and shares.